Well, hello, everybody. How are you guys doing tonight? Welcome to Mondays with Max with I am Max Voltage, your host for this evening, and every Monday night if you've been here before. Anyway, let's see who is here tonight. Oh, that's interesting. It's not letting me scroll. Justin, J-Rad, the Unboxing Project, Automatic Beats, Integra Guy, TPS Miner, thank you for being my first member. Integra Guy, thanks for being one of my members. S Chang, Pearl Rival, thank you for being a member as well. Crypto Shaped, yes, smash that like if you would. I would appreciate it. S Chang, I already said S Chang, I think. Yes, I did. John Germain, thank you for being here. Big Wooly. All right, fine. You can watch the rerun. Anyway, Veteran Miner. Let's see. Crypto Dave. Goose Duck. Fellow killer. Anyway, I guess we can talk a little bit about that. Thank you, Sunflower Mama, for popping your head. By the way, it is her birthday today. It is her actual birthday today. So please wish her a happy birthday. I would appreciate that. Mining King, good to be here. I'll be talking about your video that you did today as well. Mog Dog, Guard 1892, Maria Mining, and Gabriel Campa. Again, thank you guys all for showing up. I appreciate it. Alrighty, well, I have a lot to talk about tonight. I've just been busy. And some things that I hadn't talked about before, but let me start by talking about my computer issues. The reason why I was late tonight, I've been running into this more and more. My computer will just boot. It's a Ryzen 5600X. It will boot, but here, in fact, let me get the picture. I actually took a picture of Task Manager. Hold on a second. Let me grab it. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Let's see here. There it is. Oh, of course, it'd help if I switched over to the other view, which is good because I popped something over there I didn't want to pop over there. That's what's happening. The computer's starting, but the speed of the processor of each of the cores will not go past 440 megahertz. Needless to say, the computer crawls. Absolutely crawls. It doesn't do anything. It says 9% utilization, but no matter what you throw at it, it will not go above that. I did some searching on this, and it's a common problem. What I need to do is actually download Ryzen Master as a backup, because I guess you can actually like, kick it into gear by making Ryzen Master, set the actual clock speeds. But I'm on Windows 10. No, it has nothing to do with open tabs. Absolutely nothing to do with open tabs. This all happens. I know you're saying degradation, because that way you can say, well, it caused it before it went to go to restart. Anyway, it is frustrating, very frustrating. I may have to replace my motherboard is what I'm wondering, but we shall see. I have just started down this road. I haven't found anybody that's been able to fix it. Everybody says, oh, update your BIOS, update your drivers, update this, update that. And everybody that has the problem reports back, didn't change anything. So I'm pretty sure it's not related to the BIOS. I have a fairly updated BIOS. It may be related to Windows, because a number of people have said that once they got to, and I forget what the number was, but it all started after a specific Windows 10 update. So anyway, I've just started the analysis to try to figure out what it is. And first thing is to make sure I've got a workaround for when it happens, so that I'm not like held hostage by my computer that says, you're not streaming tonight. So yeah, that's why. So I apologize about being late, but that was the reason why. No, it has nothing to do with too many tabs. It'd be an argument if my memory was failing. My memory's not failing. That's not the issue here. It's the processor. So, or it's the processor not getting the right direction from whatever to tell it to kick into speed. So, I thought, believe it or not, I thought it was related to my keyboard, because over the weekend, I was having this problem, and I said, fine, I'm just going to shut it off for a while. So I shut it off for a while, and then came back, and my keyboard LEDs were still on, even though the computer was off. So that was a problem. So I unplugged the keyboard, restarted, and it was fine after that. So, but what I'm also thinking about, the way I was able to get it to come up this time was, instead of just shutting down my computer and then restarting it, or, definitely has a problem when I go to restart it. If I was just shutting it down and restarting, basically turning it off and restarting it, it would be fine. That now isn't working. But now, if the last couple times I've done this, if I turn the power supply completely off, so in other words, no more power is being given to the motherboard, it seems to be able to boot fine then. So I'll have to do some more testing with that. So anyway, we shall see. Yes, hashtag tab life. Is that going to be my new thing instead of OnlyFlans? It's going to be tab life. Maybe I'll make a second membership level, and that'll be called tab life. Anyway, thanks for the idea. Crypto shaped in pearl rival. I appreciate it. Anyway, alrighty. Well, let me go back and check to see. I have a 1951 SKS that can permanently fix it. Yeah, it'll permanently kill it. I'll give you that. All right, let me scroll up back to the top to see, again, if you want to ask me a question or make a comment that I am sure to see, please tag me in the comment. Because I know you guys talk amongst yourselves, and that's great. I definitely want to see the banter back and forth as well. TPS Miner says, I see what you did there. Just remember this comment for later on in the stream. I'm not sure what that's referring to, because I said it a while ago. But anyway, so I'm not sure. Anyway, what did Sunflower Mama do? Oh, the 25th anniversary of my 30th birthday. Aha. Alrighty. Well, anyway, so that's what was going on there. Yeah, you know, everybody is talking about this shadow merge, and I honestly haven't done any research into it yet. I've been kind of focused on things, projects and stuff that I've been working on. So I'll have to look into that more for next week. Honestly, it sounds like a rumor to me. And unless I hear the All Core Devs group talk about it, then I don't necessarily believe it. I know a while back they had talked about paying miners to mine beyond the merge in an effort to make sure that they didn't try to disrupt the merge and to keep people continuing to mine up to the merge as well. So I don't know if that's what this is referring to. I just know that that was a topic brought up a long time ago. Probably like last April, I think was the last time I heard anything about it. So maybe that's what they're referring to or what's being referred to, but I have not honestly had any time to do any research into that. So K-Spec, do you know how to transfer the wallet keys or to get it to attach to the wallet in the app for an HNT miner? I don't. Yeah, I do not. I'm not sure why you necessarily need it in the wallet, in the HNT miner wallet. I mean, if you're mining and you hook it up to there, you'll just develop a new HNT balance. So I guess I'm not really sure what the benefit would be to transfer. Oh, you're saying to transfer the wallet keys. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's been a long time. I actually am getting one now, so I may go through that process when I set that one up. So that's, thanks for the idea, K-Spec. I will probably do that. I'm supposed to get it on Wednesday. Now I probably won't be setting it up for a little while. Not sure exactly when. Sometime probably in the next couple weeks I'll be setting it up. Anyway, oh, automatic beats. I received my MNTD gold spot today. All set up and syncing now. Oh, congratulations. That's great. I will be talking a bit about some things regarding helium mining and how to set it up with your network. I've learned a few things, and just more through anecdotal evidence as opposed to specific evidence, things that may relate to that. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit later as well. Kyle Rogers, I had my first Fluxnode issue today, went down, sent me to the back of the line. Well, that stinks. I actually had that as well, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. That's on the things to talk about as well. K-Spec says, if you bought a used miner, how would you set it up? Yeah, that's interesting because I did get my first miner, my first helium miner from somebody else, but they had to transfer it to me. So that's basically what was done. So yeah, if that person hasn't transferred it to you, that could be an issue because they don't want people stealing helium miners and then associating it with a different wallet. So you may have to work with the person that sold you that helium miner. Unfortunately, I don't have any experience in that specifically, other than I know how it was done. You know, that they actually transferred the miner to me. How long did it take you to get a Fluxnode payout? I got my node running on Thursday night and nothing yet. Okay, so do you know, Gabriel, do you know how to monitor where you stand in line? That would be the key. But right now, payouts are running about 5 days. So yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday would be my guess as to when you would get that. Yeah, he's talking about, yeah, I got that now, unboxing project. I appreciate that. He's talking about transferring the H&T miner to another user / wallet. Yeah, I did do that. I'd spent so long, I don't remember how that was accomplished. Yeah. I hope you got your miner new, not used. It's a pain. Yeah. I did get mine. I got my first one used. I got my second one new. Actually, this would technically be my third one. The second one, I was trying to find a place to mine with it, you know, to set it up. And I got an offer I couldn't refuse. It's really what it came down to. I was like, okay, fine. So sold it. And then I found a place where I could set it up and was like, okay, perfect. Let's see, anything else? Mining King, thank you very much for the super chat. I very much appreciate it. That's for your wife. Yeah, I figured as much. She thanks you for the birthday present. Did you have H&T in the receiving wallet to accept the transfer? Yes, because the person that was selling it to me made sure there was helium in that wallet. So yeah, they made the process extremely easy. And I am forever thankful for that. Alrighty, no idea where to see where I'm in line. Okay, I will go through that in a little bit. And since I haven't done it yet, let me show you the intro and then we will come right back. Alrighty. Had to show that. I like it. Anyway. Alrighty. Okay, well, since Gabriel was asking about it, let me... And of course, it's going to pop up right there, but that's okay. There's nothing. I just got to move it over. Hello, move over. Yeah, Zelcore Wallet likes to take its sweet time. And doesn't like to move. All right, I'm gonna switch back to my face so that I can actually log in. Alrighty. And just gotta make sure that, I mean, you guys know I have a node, so it pretty much has as much as a node would be in my wallet. So it isn't a big secret at all. All right. So I'm going to kind of go back and forth just to make sure. So basically you're going to go here, then you want to go over to the apps on the left and you're going to click there. I'm going to move this off the screen so that I can do that. Make sure there's not anything. Okay. And there's not. So you're going to then go down to here for Flux nodes. Remove that. Make sure there's not. Yeah, see, this one has my IP address. And I do not want to blur it out. But once you get there, at the bottom of the screen it says My Flux Nodes. And down there, it'll have the name of your Flux node, your IP address, the tier, probably Cumulus, and then status confirmed. Okay. Then when you click the down arrow, then it will show you address, collateral, confirmations, and then rank. Your rank is where you are in line. So right now I'm at 3,139. My mine just came up yesterday because, and I was going to go through this as far as what I did with the Flux node and a lot of other things that were going on. But anyway, but that's where you can find your rank. Now, there may be another place that you can find your rank from Flux OS. Where did I put that? there. Not there. It's not there. Here it is. All right. So this is your Flux OS. So basically you can go to your internal IP address and then whatever your Fluxnode port is, and we'll talk a little bit about this in a little bit. And let me see. This is the status. I don't think it has the rank here. Let's see here. Dashboard. No. Yeah, it may not tell you here. I was thinking I told you here. Overview. No, this is just everything. Not specifically about this particular Flux node. And this is all the latest ones that have gotten rewards. Get info. I was hoping that maybe this would tell you, but this would be where I would think it would be. It would be under Fluxnode. So I clicked on it. Connections, difficulty, false. Da, 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 da. Yeah, it does not say anything there. The status. Now, unfortunately, that shows my IP address. I'll have to block that out. Yeah, but it does not say anything. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking it would be over here, but evidently it's not. It doesn't tell you where you are in line. So you need to get that from your wallet. So either your Zelcore app on your phone or your or the app on your actual PC or wherever you have your wallet. But it is in there under apps and you can get to it there. Hopefully that answers your question, Gabriel. So I figured why not blame me for my procrastination and come online to the stream. Okay then. Hey, BNS, you can enter your password peacefully. I closed my eyes. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you like the intro unboxing project. Appreciate that. So, okay. So that's, hopefully that answered your question. Like I said, go to apps. You'll be able to find it there. Okay, good. Glad you, hopefully that means you found it. Awesome. Alrighty. Well, let's kind of go in order with some things that have been going on. First thing I wanted to talk about, this actually happened about 2 weeks ago. So, and I don't want to say shilling because this is not paid for by anybody. But there's a couple companies that I do want to shout out to. The first one being iFixit. So obviously if you're familiar with iFixit, they're a company that is all about, people being able to repair their own devices, right to repair. They're all about that and they support that. So when it came time to order a new battery for my daughter's computer, I was looking around, found it at iFixit. I was like, okay, it's a little bit more expensive, but I like the company and you get a basic toolkit with a lot of bits. And so I was like, okay, that's awesome. So we get the battery, we install it into the computer and it doesn't appear to charge at all. It stays at 0%. We follow the instructions. We plug it in overnight, put the computer on, still says 0%, but you unplug it and it'll run for 5 hours. So it was charging, but the brains inside of the battery that's supposed to tell the computer all the things that are going on was obviously busted. So I went through all that testing and I sent an email to iFixit and said, here's everything we've tried. Here's everything that was going on. And they said, yep, sounds like your battery's broken. We'll send you a new one. I was like, awesome. Didn't have to, Did not even have to argue or anything. It was a great customer service experience. On top of that, I said, hey, look, I partially got this because of the kit that came with it. I have some GPUs that I need to do some repairs on, but now her computer's down at school. She needs tools. She could probably bum some off of a friend, but if you could send another kit there with the battery, that would be awesome. If you can't, I understand. And they did. So they came through, said, hey, do you want the battery back? You know, just send me a mailing label and I'll mail it back. And they're like, nope, just make sure you recycle it. I'm like, awesome. So I like the whole trusting. I mean, I'm sure part of it might have been the fact that I went through detail as to how I tested it. So I would imagine that helped. But anyway, bottom line is my daughter's got her battery. She hasn't installed it yet, I don't believe. But she does have it. And it was a great, you know, again, it was very easy. It was a very, very easy fix. And, you know, sometimes you have to argue with these companies. Nope, not at all. They're just like, yep, give you exactly what you want. And I always feel like as long as you tell companies what your resolution is that you want, most of them are like, great, that seems reasonable, as long as it's reasonable, of course, and they'll be willing to do it. So anyway, that was my 2 cents on that one. So hopefully that will fix her laptop issue. But I know when we put her old battery in, the electronics and the battery worked. It just didn't last long. Only lasted like 45 minutes or something. So battery's obviously on its last legs, and you know, when it's only lasting 45 minutes and you need it to last at least a 2-hour class, kind of need to fix it. So anyway, that's what was going on there. That took some time, a couple weeks ago, but 2 weeks ago, when my daughter was home from school on spring break. So, and the other thing, and this is kind of interesting. So I got a new router. Hang on, let me do that. And let me go back to, I got a new router. There's the box. It is an AX11000 TP-Link router. And I had read some reviews on it. Basically, a lot of people said they really, really liked it. And anyway, I was looking for a router because I didn't want my Fluxnode running in DMZ mode, as well as my Xfinity gateway. I still think was not, even though I turned the security off, there was a little bit of security on, I believe, IP6 instead of just IP4, IP address 4, version 4 versus IP address version 6. So, because I was still getting messages saying that, you know, Xfinity, you know, gateway found this and didn't allow it, you know, things like that. And I was like, that's not right. So, and I could see my rewards going up and down dramatically from day to day. So I also found that when the actual, like, I flatlined for a while, if I'd restart my gateway, it would come back. So yeah, I was having issues with the gateway and how it was interacting with devices that needed access to ports. So I thought, okay, I really just need to get a router. And the first time I had gotten one, I had bought an Asus router, and I've had problems with Asus routers in the past, but I thought, you know, it still gets good reviews. I'll try it out. No, was still having issues. It just wasn't worth it. I was getting worse coverage with the Asus router, even though it had all these antennas and such. And I felt like the speed through the router was less than the Xfinity router. So basically that was like, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months ago, something like that. And anyway, this time I happened to be looking at my wife's computer, and she had frozen it on some Costco specials, and it was frozen on that router. I was like, what? So I looked at it, and this router had been anywhere between $400 and $425 like a year ago. And now at Costco was only 220. Now 220 is still a lot of money, but this thing's loaded with features that work. It has a 2.5 gig WAN port. So I'm able to link 2.5 gig WAN port to my gateway. My gateway has a 2.5 gig WAN port. I have 1.2 gig service. So at least I'm getting 1.2 gig speed or more to the router. Now from the router, it only has gigabit Ethernet. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, bottom line is everything is as fast or faster than it was before. So definitely very happy about that. It also has uPNP, which I found out later the Xfinity box also has, but I never tried using that for either of the devices. So anyway, we'll get into the Helium Miner and the Fluxnode a little bit later as to some things that from networking wise, why I think some things to try if you just have the Xfinity gateway. But anyway, I have this router. And now the funny thing about it is I spent all day Saturday setting this thing up and thought I had a problem. In the end, I didn't have a problem. It was the computer. Anyway, but what I did find was that the speed, there's a speed test inside the router config software, and that speed was not registering correctly. And so then I tried testing it from my computer and I was only getting half speed. Went on the internet, saw the same thing everywhere. I'm like, what the heck? Anyway, at some point during that whole entire process, I went over to my wife's computer and tested hers, and hers tested fine. It was getting the full gigabit service minus a little bit of overhead because we're all of us in this particular room are hooked up through a switch. That means my Fluxnode is on it. And it means both computers that are mining are also on that. So that's obviously going to take some overhead. So it gets somewhere between 900 and 950 megabits per second. So again, very, very close to the gigabit service running through this TP-Link little switch, which then runs to the TP-Link router. So anyway, so while I think I have a problem, I get online with TP-Link tech support. And you can definitely tell the people that are on the chat are just gathering information, but they're going through a lot of different, they're asking you a lot of different questions and gathering good data. And then they basically say, okay, this is going to be a little hard. We're going to get one of our engineers to take a look at this and see what's going on. So that's where we left it on Sunday. Then I said, like, later on Sunday, I figured out that no, this is pilot error, computer error, whatever you want to call it. But it figured out everything was fine. So I was waiting for that engineer to come back so that I could tell him he could close the ticket. Well, he came back and said, hey, we have this beta firmware we'd like you to try, see if it fixes your problem. So I have not tried that. I'm not sure I'm going to. I'm going to download it, see if there's like a README file, and see if it's just a minor fix to the internal speed test. If it is, I'll probably just download it so that I can see what the actual speed is. But at any rate, I then responded saying, thank you very much. Appreciate you going the extra mile. The good thing is they didn't just be like, hey, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, and just push it to the side, which many tech companies do. And I very much appreciated the way that they handled it and let them know that. And I've always been happy with TP-Link. Again, this is my shilling part of it. I've always been happy with TP-Link products. I have the router. I have a couple of Wi-Fi adapters, a couple different kinds. And I also have their Wi-Fi extenders that I use for mining that just run and run and run and run and run. Very rarely do I have a problem with those. Probably maybe once every couple of months, I might have to plug it back in, basically reboot the thing. So anyway, very, very happy with them. I also have some of their smart plugs as well. Their outdoor smart, their Casa is the brand name that they're under. So anyway, I just always like to not just call out companies when they do something wrong. I really like to call out companies that do things right from a customer service perspective. And in this case, I really felt like TP-Link did it right. They took the information, said we'd get back to you in a day, and they did. They didn't just say it to get me off the line. They actually got back to me in a day with, hey, we'd like you to try this beta firmware. I was like, dang, okay, that's awesome. So at any rate, I know I'm gushing, but it's just one of those things where it's just really, really nice to see when companies take their customers' concerns seriously. I mean, in this time when you had Gamers Nexus and Newegg and that whole fiasco, and I'm really glad Gamers Nexus did what they did. I'm not saying that, but I like to make sure that people know that not all companies are like that. There's plenty of companies that are more consumer focused. So I fix it, and TP-Link, I put both of those companies in that category of being consumer focused and take customer satisfaction very seriously. And to that, bravo to both companies. So alrighty, enough on that, but felt like it was important to you know, say that about companies that are doing it right. All right, so all right, I just glanced at what Rabid Mining said, but let me, oh, okay, I guess he was the next one. Oh, and thank you, 56, for the $5 super chat and the 5 ramen noodles. I very much appreciate it. Rabid Mining says, tell them you want 5 free kits, 1 for you and a spare, then 3 for a giveaway. I was not going to, you know, say any of that because I wanted to make sure that they knew that I was doing it from my heart, not from a, hey, can you sponsor my channel aspect. If they ever find this video and see what I had to say, nice things I had to say about them, and they would like to sponsor or provide me a few giveaways, I would be more than happy to oblige. But that wasn't my reason for actually calling it. It was just calling out companies that are doing it right. And to that, I'm very, very thankful for those companies that do it, because it does cost them extra money. It really does. You hope that in the long run, it's going to help them. But, you know, there's a reason why people cut back on customer support, is because the almighty dollar seems to dictate that at times. All righty. Let me see if there's any other. Okay. Well, thanks, Rabbit. I appreciate that. Anyway, alrighty, moving on. So I talked about the router. So again, the reason why I had gotten it was because of the problems I was having with the Xfinity. Xfinity just didn't have the ability to configure the security very well. I mean, you couldn't even configure it on the actual device. It actually redirected you to their website, which then communicated with your router, which I was kind of like, that's kind of hanky, but okay, whatever. Anyway, so I later found out, as I was going through and setting it in bridge mode, I realized that they do have a universal plug and play feature on their Xfinity routers. And so I would definitely highly suggest that if you are having issues with a Fluxnode or a Helium miner, enable uPNP, get rid of all of your port forwards, and see what happens, and see if it actually recognizes the ports that are required for those devices. So with Helium, it seems to be set up that way. And I remember Hobbyist Miner, he's like, yeah, I just plugged the thing in and it worked. And I later found out it's because, yeah, he had universal plug and play enabled on his router. So that can play a very, very important aspect to it. Not sure what that's referring to, Chris GTR. Baby pennies, 5 cents. Here, I'll show that. That's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, so for this particular router, I did set it up in universal plug and play, didn't set up any of that. And my Fluxnode's been working perfectly. And my Helium miner seems to be getting a little bit better results since I hooked it up to this router. So definitely very happy with it. It doesn't seem to be doing anything as far as, you know, not accepting certain messages from certain websites and all that kind of stuff. No problems with that. So definitely happy with that. Now with the Fluxnode though, setting universal plug and play was part of the upgrade that I did over the weekend to make my Fluxnode multi-node compatible, meaning that I could run multiple nodes from my house. And it was really, really easy to set up actually. Basically, I ran there's like a menu that you run and you go into the menu to set up your whole Fluxnode. The multi-node setup was number 14. So 14, you go into that and it just takes you through the steps of getting it set up. There was also some information on Fluxnode, Flux's Discord channel or Discord server, and it talked about what you needed to do in order to set it up. That's where you get all the instructions, but it's really easy. You set your router towards with uPNP on universal plug and play, and then go through the steps where you set your particular port. And I needed to do this anyway because my outgoing IP address had changed. So yeah, so that had changed. And so with doing all this, it literally took me like less than 10 minutes to set it up, even with all the commands that goes through whenever you're doing anything on Linux. I guess the thing that took the longest was I decided to do all the updates. So I, did all the updates, that did all the upgrades, and those are what take a while. Maybe 7 minutes for all that, I think. It was a little bit longer for me because I couldn't remember the commands to run because I'm not a Linux guy. So anyway, so yeah, Fluxnode's been running great. I'm in a point where I could add another Fluxnode from my house with the way I have it set up. So definitely very happy. And the Helium Miner seems to be generating a bit more income than it has in the recent past. We'll see if I get any flat lines like I have in the past, but hoping that that is behind me. I really believe that a lot of those problems that I had with the flat lines were related to the router, the Xfinity router. So now I have the Xfinity router set up in bridge mode. So it's not acting as a router. It's just acting as a modem at this point. So all the routing has been set up. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. And it's certainly not Linus of Linus Media, Linus Tech Tips. Maybe Linus Torvald possibly, but not Linus of Linus Tech Tips. All right, so let's see what else. Was your Xfinity router Wi-Fi turned off? I'm guessing that's what you meant. Yeah, it was. The routing was turned off. It was turned into bridge mode how it's working now, being connected into the other router. Unboxing project. Which exchange would you never deal with if possible? Crypto.com, Binance, FTX, KuCoin, or Gate.io? That would probably be a tie between Crypto.com and Gate.io, in my opinion. I don't know much about FTX. KuCoin, I think, has been okay, but here's my problem with Crypto.com from at least what I read, and I was like, I think I'll open up an account at Crypto.com, and then I looked at what their withdrawal fees were, and it was ridiculous. So I was like, no, definitely not doing that. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm not a big fan of Crypto.com, is because of their withdrawal fees. Yeah, it's great. You just leave your money there, but at some point you want to take advantage of it, and they're going to charge you a pretty hefty fee unless you have a ton of money in it. And then they'll still charge you the hefty fee, but it won't be as big of a percentage of your account. So yeah, I not a huge fan. Yeah, I do move out with LTC. I don't know what Crypto.com is with LTC, but I know if I'm moving things between accounts, I'll either do it with Cardano or LTC, Litecoin, because those seem to be the lowest fees. So if I had, like, for instance, I moved I moved money from my Bittrex account into my, I can't even think what the name of the account is. Basically where I have my Raptorium, and I moved it into that account so that I could transfer it into Flux so that I can move it into my Flux wallet. So transferring it into there, I did it via Litecoin or ADA. I don't remember which one I did, but something like that. So anyway, that would be what I would do. So, okay. So let's see. I went over the Fluxnode update. Went a little bit over the Helium update. And as I said, I'll be getting another Helium miner on Wednesday. Went over the laptop battery install and iFixit. Went over the computer issues. It's the only things I haven't gone over are lolminer in my travels with that since Friday, and taxes. Those were kind of the other things I was going to talk about tonight. So let's go over the lolminer first. So I did do a live stream on Friday night for lolminer, and it went okay until I tried to change the NVIDIA driver. So couldn't get the NVIDIA driver to work. So then I did some more research after the stream, and from what I read, it looked like that the RevTech was not compatible with the newer NVIDIA drivers. Remember that this is the RevTech board that wasn't supposed to work with any NVIDIA cards. So it's not too hard to fathom that a board that wasn't supposed to work with NVIDIA cards that I got to work with NVIDIA cards might be nerfed if I change the driver, the NVIDIA driver. So definitely was having lots of problems with that. And finally just said, screw it. I'm going to leave the drivers where they are and see what it does. And I've been happy with what it says the results are. I hadn't done any side-by-side tests on equivalent rigs because I don't really have anything like that. I mean, I guess I could put cards in the same rig on different miners, but I really didn't want to go through the trouble. But like I said, I do like the fact that it does report more. And I do have one of my members who never can make the live stream because he's on the other side of the world. But he has basically said that he's not finding any different results than what he was already getting on T-Rex. So your mileage may vary. Alrighty, let me see what other comments have been made. K-Spec. Endax charged me $25 to transfer ETH to a wallet. That's not including the Govee I had to pay. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Again, this is one of the reasons why I really like Bittrex. They do have some small transfer fees, but nothing outrageous. It's all very reasonable. I think for Cardano, I think they charge you 1 Cardano. Okay. That's depending on what Cardano's at. You're talking anywhere between 70 cents and $3, you know, again, nothing huge. So yeah, I definitely like Bittrex for that reason. That's one of the reasons why I've stayed with them. And let's see, unboxing project. Did I miss you saying what brand your new H&T miner is? I actually didn't mention it, but it is an MNTD miner, but it's a black spot, not a gold spot. Not to mention that we still do go to Home Depot now and then, but yeah, it is not our favorite place. Let's just, I don't know what you guys were talking about up above regarding that, but let's just say our experience with their consumer friendliness has not been very good, especially with their condescension to women. So we happened to go to Lowe's yesterday, and it was refreshing that there was actually a woman that was there helping. And my wife asked questions, and they didn't turn to talk to me. They talked to her, and they talked to her like a human being. So take that for what it's worth. But yeah, we like Lowe's a bit more than Home Depot, even though Home Depot is in the town that we live in. So Lowe's is a little bit harder to get to, but not really that much harder. Yeah, Mining King, Lowe's is way better. Yeah, from their customer service standpoint, I completely agree. I do like Home Depot's convenience and the fact that being that they're here in this town, you know, I just order something online because I don't want to deal with any of them. So I order something online and I order it for them to bring it out to the car. It was great during the pandemic. So we definitely still bought things from Home Depot, but yeah, if we're going to the store and going in and have any questions, definitely like Lowe's a lot better than Home Depot. So K-Spec says, I guess sending you an apron would be a very bad idea. And a Home Depot apron? Yeah, I don't think I'd probably, I mean, I suppose I'd use it if I was doing something around the house where I needed to keep things handy, but I'm not really that guy. She's that girl where she would appreciate something like that, but I don't think she'd wear Home Depot. So there you go. Yeah, only go to Home Depot to meet Baldini. Absolutely. Met him there a few times. Oh, that's cool. Good to know that it's only like 12 cents with Litecoin. Yeah, and we can also walk to Ace Hardware. We do try to support our local Ace Hardware. It was an Ace Hardware, and then it left for a long period of time, and then the Ace Hardware came back, which was nice. So we do try to support it. I will never forget that we refurbished I don't know, 20-year-old Weber Genesis grill. That was we have it hooked directly into our gas line. So it's like super convenient. You don't have to worry about refilling tanks or anything. It's wonderful, but it had seen better days. So we refurbished it by replacing a lot of things on that grill. And I think it cost us like $350, $400 to replace things. Yeah, you could have gotten a charbroil for the same price, but this one's going to last. You know, it's kind of like fixing your old washer and dryer. We have a 30-year-old washer and dryer that we we fix when it needs repairing instead of replacing it. So, can you guys still hear me? Okay. All right. So my wife says she can still hear me, so that may be just you, Mug Dog. So anyway, where was I? I totally lost my train of thought. I totally lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? All right. I was like talking about something else. Anyway, totally lost my train of thought, but as far as fixing the Weber grill. So we fixed the Weber grill and I got a thank you letter from the owner of that Ace saying, thank you for your business. That's pretty nice. I mean, it was $400. It was a pretty big, man, that's a big, ticket item for an Ace Hardware. Ace Hardware generally is like your small little doodads and such. So it was nice. I appreciated that handwritten note saying thank you for your business. So anyway, all right, enough about hardware stores. Didn't think I'd be talking about hardware stores tonight. What stickers are you guys talking about? Anyway, let me see. I want to just check. All right, let me see what other comments are being made. Okay. And so LOL Miner. Oh, yeah. So I already talked about that. Basically, it looks like the RevTech can't take a new, but it's doing well. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, yeah, I talk a lot before I actually get to the Ask Me Anything part. That's why it's always at the end. Taxes. So in the description of the video, there is a link to Koinly, which is what I use for taxes. And I meant to do a poll. I'm going to do that poll now because I'm curious. Have you finished your taxes for 2021? So if you could be willing to participate in that poll, it isn't an anonymous poll. You try saying that 7 times fast. But I'm curious to see who has finished their taxes. I have not. So I will say no. Oh, it doesn't let me vote in my own poll. Figures. Anyway, just be curious to see if anybody has. I tend to procrastinate, especially when there's a lot to do with taxes. So yeah, I need to get that done. Plus I have to do my dad's taxes as well. Although his are supposed to be easier, but a lot of times they're not. So anyway, I'm hoping that, wait a minute, K-Spec, you were 8 years behind. Dang, that's a lot of years. I was actually 1 year behind once, and that really messed up FAFSA. That was not fun. So I had to get caught up for FAFSA. K-Spec, I got someone to get them all done. LOL. Yeah, I haven't had those problems, Pearl Rival. I've got everything linked up, and now, you know, with why can I not think of the name of this exchange? And it's making me crazy. It is, oh, Trade Ogre. That's what it is. So Trade Ogre, I have not imported that stuff yet. That's one of the things I need to do. It does not have an API that will link with Koinly, but you can download the transactions. So for me, that's kind of a no big deal. I can just import it. It's not a big deal. So anyway, but Bittrex and Coinbase, the main two other ones that I have, yeah, they're easy. The Zelcore didn't really start until this year, so I don't have that problem. Yeah, Sunflower Mama has that right. I don't like to do taxes. Who does? So yeah. And I don't know whether I'm going to get money or have to pay money. That's the part I'm not sure of. That's like the big mystery. And you think, well, why wouldn't you know? Well, I bought a lot of graphics cards, so I have those as deductions. I made a lot on mining, so I have that income, but I didn't have a job from January 1st through May 10th of last year. So my taxes were being taken out for the rest of the year as if I worked the whole year. So that works in my benefit of getting money back. I also have the remainder of my tax credit for the solar panels because I haven't been able to take those in full yet. So there's a lot of variables that of whether or not I'll have to pay taxes or not. I'm pretty sure I won't have to, but mainly because of the solar tax credit that I still have hanging out there, but not sure. So we'll see eventually. I could always file for an extension if I need to. I've done that before, but need to get it done. I just need to get it done. And yeah, I always expect to have to pay money, and it's nice if I don't have to. The other part of it is the fact that they're now taxing unemployment income. So for the first part of the year, I had unemployment income of last year. So there's that going on as well. So 56 taxes suck. Half my return down the drain. But you got to return. So you're saying you already spent your return? Is that the problem? That doesn't sound like so much of a problem. Anyway, so S Chang says, do you trade crypto? Yes, I do, but not in the typical sense. I kind of trade. In fact, I have to reset a buy. I trade kind of on. I don't assume that the market's going to go up or down. I know that the market will at some point go up and at some point go down. So I set buys on Bitcoin up or down 10%. So it actually went up 10%. So it sold. I have to reset a buy 10% down again. So that's basically the way that I do things. So again, it's very systematic, unemotional. Yeah, it's kind of the way I do it. and it's worked. I mean, it's helped make me some money. It's not made me a ton of money that way, but it has made me some money. You are a DCAer. Yeah, I am. I mean, obviously you could say you're dollar cost averaging just by mining, because you're consistently getting in at different levels, and your basis is continually changing. So I look at it that way. But yeah, dollar cost averaging isn't so much that you're trading. I mean, I used to do this daily when I was doing it with a 401k until it burnt me. What I was doing when I worked at Tell Labs, I would buy Tell Labs when it went down, and I would sell it when it went up on a daily basis. There's now things in place that you can't really do that anymore, but back then I could. And yeah, I basically accumulated a lot of returns that way. Problem is that only works when it's going up. And Tell Labs at one point went down and down and down and down, and I continued and bought and bought and bought and bought. And that's when you get into trouble. And so then I lost some money that way. So anyway, let's see. Next, Moon Coin. I hope it's Flux or Cardano. That was one. Those are the ones that I would like it to be, or Avalanche. But do I really know which one's going to be a Moon Coin? No. And pretty much if you look at the coins that Moon, they're generally the ones that have the biggest returns are the brand new coins, the ones that are relatively unknown. And that's the thing, is I don't know a lot to know that they're going to go up. There's a guy that I watch, Andy, my friend Andy, I think, basically talks about crypto, talks about node projects. And I was just watching his video today, and he was talking about Tavern. And they have breweries, and they have mead, and they have a whole, economic system that they kind of work within. And yeah, he was saying, like, the coin that they have, you're able to buy in at the very beginning for $1, and it went all the way up to over $10, and now it was like between $8 or $9. So yeah, is that a moon? I don't know. 800% sounds pretty darn good. So hard to really say, but that's what some new coins will do. I mean, look at what Reptorium did. I mean, Reptorium went up a lot. Look at what Flux has actually done. I mean, there wasn't that long ago that it was like 4 cents, and now it's at like $1.60. So I would call that a moon. But I think it has further to go. So yeah, I don't know, but it's generally going to be a newer coin that I'm probably not going to be familiar with. Alrighty. Mighty 2K3. Thank you. Oh, and Paul Doherty, welcome. Appreciate you guys both being here. Mighty 2K3 and Paul Doherty. Did you try copper shims on the VRAM of your GPUs? No, I did not. I actually had bought thermal pads, the right thickness of thermal pads for the one I'm going to repad. It is a 5700 XT, a gigabyte 5700 XT, because I need to replace the fans. One of the fans is going very, very quickly. So I will need to replace that eventually. It's still running cool, so I haven't found an urgent reason to replace it. So, but no, I won't be trying the copper shims. I'm aware of that video. I've not watched that video. So, copper shims sound like an awesome, terrible idea. Well, supposedly somebody tried it and it worked. So I don't know, but I'm still sticking to the tried and true, the thermal pad. Let's see. I think that's all the topics I had. So what, other than what you guys have already asked, what do you guys want to talk about? So Unboxing Project says, just got my first 5700 XT and my first 2080 Ti last weekend. Now I'm less than an RX 480 worth of hash rate from the 1 gigahash club. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. Yeah, just wait. You get to 1 gigahash and you're like, yep, that's all I need. That's all I need. Want to get to the 1 gigahash. And you're like, yeah, but okay, well, I got an opportunity to get to 1.1 and then 1.2 and then 1.3. And by the time you get over 1.5, then your goal is 2. Now I will say I'm at 2 and I'm done. I'm basically done. I am not going any further at this point, at least not until after the merge. Might make some trades. Might, like, for instance, buy like FE cards to sell off LHR cards, things like that, if I have the opportunity, but I am not gaining more cards. There's a couple different reasons for that. One is because I'm kind of out of power. If I want to do any flux mining in my 30 amp circuit in the basement, yeah, I don't really have a lot of headroom to do that at this point. I did take my 3060 out of my computer and put that one in the farm. So all I have in my upstairs computer now is a 3070. So, but that 3060 went into the basement into one of the rigs, and it's now mining away down there. That was just a better way to handle things from a heat and from a reliability perspective. You know, whenever I want to play games or stuff, I'm always turning off all my cards, not just my main card. Sometimes the computer gets a little confused as to where they're supposed to put that GPU load, and will sometimes guess the wrong one. So anyway, what are my overclock settings on my 3060? It probably depends on which 3060, but the one I moved downstairs was locked core clock of 1650 and memory clock of 2800. So that is where I'm at with that. Let me check my other two 3060s. Where did I put that? That's in the I forgot I moved my. There it is. Oh, interesting. Oh, there it is. Okay. So my 3060s are in, one of them's here. You can see that one. And then this 3060 is at 1650 and either 2500 or 2450. They will not go above that. So these EVGA ones with the Samsung memory in them will not go beyond that. Not reliably anyway. So, oh, I should have, well, that's interesting. I did set this up with the new, so it would show that the memory temps, but I'm not seeing that. That's very interesting. Let me do a refresh. It's still not popping up. Yeah. Interesting. And I know that it was kind of going back and forth on it. So, you know, it would be on, then it'd be off, then it'd be on, then it'd be off. It's almost like it loses sync with its refresh rate. You know, with when Hive is refreshing, the memory is not refreshing at the same time. That's what somebody I was talking to last night said. Matt Electron was talking to Matt Electron about it, and that was what his guess was. Alrighty, let's let me see what I missed. Rabbit Mining says I got my 3060 down to 0.334 hash per watt on LOL miner. Yeah, I don't know what mine's at, but I have not taken a ton of time in making those like super efficient. I probably could get below 118 watts. This 129 watts, this one is what kind of confuses me a bit. But yeah, the efficiency is important, but right now with the cost of electricity I have, with where the profitability is, it's more important for me to get a higher hash rate than it is to get more efficiency, because you'll still get more higher profits, not higher efficiency, but higher profits by getting a higher hash rate at this point. It's only when it gets like to the point where it becomes marginally profitable where efficiency really starts to come into play. Unboxed Project. It's an addiction for sure. There's a group for that. We meet on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, yes, it is somewhat of an addiction. But it's a fairly good addiction. Paul Doherty says, I need 12 to 15 gigahash. Need to run extension cords to neighbors' houses for free power. Yeah, let me know how that goes for you. I'm thinking that they might get a little annoyed. Just a little. Anyway. So I did the overclock settings on the 3060. My daily driver has a Quadro card. Pulled the nice GPU out to put to work. Yeah. And I know some people that have done that. My 3070 is a good card, but it is LHR'd through the roof. It is really, really hard to get it to work with Ethereum. It constantly triggers LHR. Don't know why, but yeah, that's why I'm only mine Flux on it. When I'm not gaming or when I'm not streaming or editing for that matter. So let's see. S. Chang, you talk about reinvesting by buying more GPU with earnings. So when do you stop and start accumulating crypto? I don't know where I actually said specifically reinvesting by buying more GPUs. That's not really been something that I remember talking about. I mean, I have done it. I am buying and making sure that I'm, funding my GPUs through my earnings. But I actually don't remember discussing that. That was more of a chump change thing, if I remember correctly. But no, my main thing was mine what's most profitable and buy what you think is going to go up. So in other words, mine what's most profitable, sell that coin into what coin you really want to hold long term. Whether that be Bitcoin, or whether that be Raven coin, or something in between. So that's been the main thing I've talked about. But as far as when do you stop and start accumulating crypto? I've never stopped accumulating crypto. I accumulated at different rates, but I've never stopped accumulating. It's always continually gone up in the amount that I hold. Like right now, I am not accumulating a lot. I'm actually kind of unsure about where things are going. So I am kind of cashing out a bit. Not a ton, but just a bit. So I'm kind of doing what Red Fox has talked about. He cashes out every single week. He cashes out 50% of his earnings. That's basically what I'm doing. So I'm continuing to accumulate, just not as fast and not just letting it continue to accumulate. I'm taking some profits from my mining payouts. Let's see. Any other question? Oh, wait a minute. Down arrow. There we go. Miss anything? Oh, wow. A lot of things that came down. No, why did somebody ask that? Okay. I don't know if it's really that much different, but so Rabid Mining says 37.17 at 108 watts at the wall, 92 watts software, 1350 core, 2700 mem, 170.103.01 driver. It's better than the 5100X drivers. Well, if I could update to those drivers, that would be great. But like I said, the RebTex won't let me update to that. But it's good to know that actually the 170.103.01 driver is better than the 510 drivers. Let's see here. What else is being... Crypto Duck, thank you for being here. Appreciate you being a member. Let's see. Unboxing project. If you had to resell your hardware investment, would you make more or less than half of what you originally paid? Oh, I'd make more than half. Easily. Easily. I mean, I have not bought anything that wasn't retail. I've only paid retail price. If you're only paying retail price, you can certainly get at least half. Now, most of my cards were bought before the latest price increases, and I wouldn't buy those really high price increases. So I was mainly buying EVGA, which were the lowest cost cards. I bought a few Asus along the way, but I would not buy MSI. I would not buy Zotac, and I would not buy Gigabyte, even though the pricing on Gigabyte was okay. Those three brands were, as far as I was concerned, they were off limits. And of course, buying the FE cards, of course, those are the least expensive. So, but yeah, definitely could get half back, no problem. Let's see. So what sort of regulations do you think will come of the executive order? Honestly, I don't really think much is going to come of it. It's so generic, so generic. And honestly, it really depends on who's in power at what time. So this executive order, yeah, yes, Biden put it out there. I don't really think anything's going to come of it during his tenure. The real question is who will be the next president and what will happen with that. So, but again, overall, I really don't think that anybody's going to really do much with it. That's where I think. So, TPS Miners says, I've waited for over an hour for someone to notice the flannel on the wall. That is what I meant from my comment at the beginning of the stream. Why didn't you just say that? I've been waiting for somebody to say something about the flannel on the wall because you just won a coaster, a max voltage coaster. So send me your contact information. I'll send you some stickers. I'll send you some coasters. So congratulations. I actually just got these today. Sticker Mule, gave me a screaming deal on these. So thought they were cool. So congratulations, TPS Miner. You are the winner. So there you go. I'm sitting here looking at this. If there's been somebody else that's noticed, please tell me. But yeah, I was waiting for something. I said a long time ago, if I did a giveaway, it would be like when that changed and whoever noticed. I'm not going to be like, hey, I've got a big giveaway. I will never do that. Well, I say that now, but my plan is to never do that. My plan is to do something with like a little Easter egg, something like that, and have somebody notice and have them win. So there you go. Well, welcome, Atomic Star. Shouldn't you be in class? I know she did. I mean, she said 6 to 9. So I know that they let her out early. They let them out early. So anyway, well, welcome. All right. So hang on a second. Yeah, scalpers don't get a cent from me. Absolutely not. I will not pay scalp prices, period. Could I have made more money if I was willing to pay more? Probably. Yeah, thank you, Crypto Duck. I appreciate you being a member. Very much so. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did remember you saying, remember that comment for later. And I was like, what is he talking about? I have no idea. Anyway, and one of the things we have been playing, by the way, and Chump Change has been streaming it, is Goose Goose Duck. Very fun game. Come on to Discord. I'm sure more the merrier. Certainly would rather have people of this community rather than randos in the room. But yeah, Crypto Shaped, Mrs. Crypto Shaped, Chump Change, myself, TPS Miner, Crypto Dave, Crypto Duck, and I'm sure I'm missing some other people, but we've all been playing, and it's basically, if it isn't the same, it's darn close to being the same as Among Us. That's a pretty popular game, but we've been having a good time with it, and very social game, so it's definitely been fun. Let's see what else. Atomic Star, speaking of taxes, so when are you gonna help me with mine? Yours will be easy. I'm not even sure if you have to file any. You didn't work last summer. Anyway, we'll talk. Again, I'll have to see if your mining profits would trigger your need to file taxes. Don't think they would, but we'll see. Let's see. Speaking of tech, oh, sup nerds. Also, Pro Rob has become a nerd since he's met me. Got it. Glad I could have such a great So yeah, glad you like it, TPS Miner. Like I said, shoot me a DM with your address and I'll send you some stuff. No, you're not getting a C-Walk for my intro. Absolutely not. Too old for that. Oh, can I do your taxes, Crypto Dave? No, I'm already doing my sons, my daughters. And when I say what I'm doing their taxes, they do them, but I'm with them as they're doing them. So not so much my daughter, but my son. My son's older, so he's still getting the hang of doing his own taxes. Let's see here. I'm not keeping up with the chat. Veteran Miner, I want a sticker I'm collecting. Shoot me a DM. I can do that. Okay, Atomic Star, class got out early. And what did MC say? I'm looking at the top FE box. What did he say about the top FE box?
It doesn't line up and it bothers them.
Oh. Okay then. We'll just wait until next week. But anyway. Oh, you wanted to see if anybody else would say something. Well, they didn't. So your win. Anyway, let's see here. And Atomic Star says, I do, though, according to roommate who is currently working as a CPA. I don't know. I'll look it up on what the guidelines are. I know last year you did not have to. So maybe this year you will. I'm grip walking. Alrighty, guys. Well, I have taken up enough of your time, an hour and a half. So again, thanks for everybody for being patient, for me being late due to my computer issues, which I will right after the stream make sure I have the Ryzen Master software so that I can try, if it ever happens again, I can try using that as a workaround if it ever goes into that mode again. I've read somewhere that can fix it. It's just frustrating. Unboxing project. My SKS offer still stands. Yeah. If I ended up replacing that motherboard, maybe I'll take you up on that. Anyway. Alrighty, guys. Again, thank you very much for coming. Always enjoy talking to you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you are not a subscriber, and why aren't you? Please hit the thumbs up if you like the video, and if you aren't a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. I would very, very much appreciate it. And if you would like to support the channel, please become a member. That is what enables me to have some of the content that I do provide. It did help pay for that new router that I was looking at, and also helps pay for little prizes such as these coasters. So again, thank you very much, and you guys all have a wonderful night.